Hi there, this is Melanie Easom, and today I'm with Shirley Battie, and we are going to be going through the questions and answers that we have received from her guides. Those of you who joined in with this a few weeks ago will know that I contacted Shirley and said, I've had a message from my guides for us to get together and do this. And it was to put questions out there to get from all of you. And we had questions come from literally all over the place. So we have picked a few. We can't do all of them because there was far too many. But the questions that have been answered are amazing. And Shirley has done this over a period of time where each question she has sat with, meditated, brought her guides in, and they have given her the answer. So we are going to go from the beginning through to the end. We've got a real biggie amongst this that we are actually going to leave to the end because it's very complex, full of some wonderful information. So stay with us because we're going to leave that as the bonus at the end of the video. So for those who don't know, I'm going to introduce Shirley now. Shirley is an author, she's a speaker, and also a spiritual teacher. She's done the trilogy called Calling Earth. These are the books here. The trilogy of 1, 2, and this is the latest. This has just come out. As you can see, I've got my bookmark in. I'm still reading it.
Fight for humanity's future.
Yeah. So these are wonderful, and she's also done many books, other books besides that as well as the little owl cards as well. If you want to show those, Shirley.
Oh yeah,
you've got those. And Shirley, you can get those directly from Shirley as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So just to let you know that in watching this video, if you go to my YouTube page while you're there, please subscribe, please click the notification bell. Also, thumbs up or a comment would be brilliant because obviously that helps in moving it along and gives it some traction. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm sure it's going to be exceptionally interesting. Of all the questions, and I don't know the answers to these. I give all of the questions over to Shirley. So we're going to start from question 1, which was, is humanity being tested to overcome its fears? Does the dark players have a role to push to wake us up? Will all that exist eventually move into the light? So what did we get on that, Shirley?
The answer. None of this should be considered as a test. It is not tested. Its existence is a voyage of discovery, and waking up is part of the discovery. Do the dark players have a role, you ask? Of course they do, for they push you, and you react according to their actions, their energies and their words. Of course they push you. If everything was easy, if everything was clear at all times, there would be no discovery or enlightenment. Part of your existence is to discover, to grow through the discovery and to learn. But it is not a test with an exam at the end. Now, the end of that question was, will all that exists eventually move into the light?
Mm-hmm.
All that exists is forever and is past, present, and future. Some will reach the level where it goes back to source, which is what we assume you mean by moving into the light. There are varying degrees. If we were to tell you that not all move into the light, you would lose heart. But what is inbuilt into each and every soul is the desire to move into greater worlds, greater experiences, the desire to return to source. It is that desire that pushes you forward. Some will return to source sooner and some will take a little longer. Much depends on how strong the desire is and if it acts on the urge. You all have infinity, so there need not be concern over when. That's the answer to one.
Wow. Very interesting.
They're very careful, you know, not to judge anybody, not to put anybody down or lift anybody wrongly up before their time.
Yes.
They're very clever.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing answer. So we'll go to question 2.
Yeah.
I know this is a bit of a personal question that somebody's put in, but they're asking for clarification and guidance. And they say that they were told that they were a gatekeeper and here to do something similar, and that I've lived with the Azurite nation. And this person asked, I'd love to know what this means for the work I need to do now.
All right, the answer. The first thing to remember is that you have probably lived with many races, off your world and on it. The only thing to remember about what you need to do now is to go from now and not from your past. Everything you have ever done or learned is still with you in your soul growth. You would not have lost it. So what do you do for the work now? Whatever inspires you, whatever lifts your heart when you think of doing this or that, that is the sign of what you need to do. If you have all been told already that you were a gatekeeper and would like that idea, then open doors for others. Is that not what a gatekeeper does? Follow your urges, your feelings, when they give you a warm glow. Even if it means work, learning, venturing into unknown territories. All that is necessary is for you to go with a desire. It's as simple as that. It does not matter what you were before or what you have done before. Do not live in the past, live in the now. And maybe, just maybe, you intended to learn something fresh, to add something new to your skills. Short to the point.
Very good. And I think even though that was a personal question, that could be put to everybody, couldn't it? Yes. Very much so.
Just making sure I'm not losing my pages here. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Right. So we're going to question 4 then, because we're leaving the other question.
Yeah. See, it's so much nicer when I channel direct, isn't it?
Yes.
Their voice comes over so differently to mine. All right, question 4.
Yep. So there are a lot of people offering DNA or light code upgrades, either through can't even say the word, amplifying things like the Lion's Gate or meditations, light language, and yet other energetic upgrades that seem to happen organically. Are doing these practitioner offered upgrades effective? Do we receive these anyway, even if we don't do anything special? Or is it the intention of receiving enough?
Right. The answer. All individuals or groups who are offering upgrades or encouragement for amplifying DNA, upgrades, light codes, energetic upgrades, and all those things, all offering are doing this genuinely out of desire to assist and to do what they can to make a change on this planet. They do it with good intention. What happens as a result is variable and depends often on the person receiving the practice upgrades. Some who are ready and who have been waiting for the opportunities, it will be effective. For others who are not quite ready, through no fault of their own, it will take a little longer and may not work at all. At a later state in their development, they may then have an effective upgrade. It is a question of grading, and not everyone is ready. Think of it as a baby being given a full solid meal. It will resist and regurgitate. While as they get older in their growth, they can ingest, and it will help them. Then there are others who are ready to take on the full works. Those who are offering do it with the best of intentions and with a desire to assist others. There is nothing wrong with that. But you also ask, yet are there energetic upgrades that seem to happen organically? Do we receive these anyway, even if we don't do anything special? Or is the intention of receiving enough? In some cases, this is so, simply because the individuals that it happens to are ready, and their souls have allowed them to integrate what is going on around them. Intention of receiving is always beneficial. So it's the intention, isn't it? And growth. Right.
And I think very, very much with that as well, it's at the right time. It will always happen at the right time.
Yes.
And not always. I mean, like I was discussing before we started the call, when that happened with me when I was at your workshop, I wasn't there for that. It just happened. So it will happen when it's meant to, won't it?
I found that when I speak this language and others are present, they've heard it for the first time, often one will start speaking back and we end up having an ET conversation between 2 or 3 people sometimes. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But there's no preparation for that. They just are ready.
Yeah,
and there's something in their soul where they remember, you know, what is already there for them. Yes. So it's brilliant. Absolutely enjoyable. That's what I would say, enjoyable. I'm sure you like it, don't you, Melanie?
It's just part of who I am now, Shirley.
It's a pleasure. I find it a pleasure.
Yeah, I think obviously, as is maybe for people in the beginning, especially if they've not gone out of the way to look for it, as I hadn't, if it just, you know, you're somewhere and you're activated and it just happens, initially it can be a bit of a shock, as it was for me. But now, you know, like many years on, it's just what I do and part of who I am, and I fully accept it, whether it be speaking it or writing it. You know, it's obviously been brought forward.
Natural.
Yeah, it is.
It's just natural. Yeah, absolutely natural. I wish I could speak foreign languages. Easily. That would save a lot of time, wouldn't it?
Yes, me too. I've often thought that as well.
But you know, I have met some people who can do that.
Yes.
You speak any language to them and they will answer.
Yeah.
Amazing. So anyway, there you go.
Right. So we're going to go to number 6.
Number 6, yes.
When will we transition to the new earth, and how will this happen? And it says, please, can you elaborate on this subject?
Oh, and I've got here answered earlier. Isn't this the one that we're going to answer later? I think.
Was 3 and...
Answered earlier. I've got here answered earlier. Yeah, when will we transition? I think we've answered that in another session. Can we leave that one for now then?
Yeah, of course we can.
Because I think that's in here somewhere.
Right, okay, along with something else.
Yeah, it is, because I've got here answers to 3 and 6. And that is the one, together. So that is going to come up a bit later. It's just the numbering, that's all.
All right. So we've got number 5 then.
So number 7. No, number 5 was repeated. Number 7.
At which point will the benevolent celestial beings step up to assist us on earth? If they do feel this is necessary. Also, what guidance is available for those with children who are not able to reach 5D in the time frame?
Right, answer. First of all, to answer the second part of this, How do you know that your children are not able to reach 5D? It is quite possible that they are already there and have surpassed you. Do not be concerned for them. Each child, though a child in years, may be what you hope to be. What are we? An evolved soul who has already been there, done that, reached the highest levels, and who have come back incarnated as a child to assist you. Which brings us to the first part of your question. When will celestial beings step in? Do you not think that they are already doing this? Many who are on Earth right now have deliberately incarnated as humans to show the way, to bring knowledge. They have been with you all the time. Is anyone taking notice? You have always had benevolent celestial beings stepping in through many, many generations of your Earth time. They still do this. It is a pity that you feel it is necessary, for if you think it is necessary, then it is. Trust your children.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. I have to add this at the moment. When I use paper to print, I reuse paper. So I use the blank sides of something else that I've already done.
Right.
And sometimes I look at here and I think, and I'm going to have to read this because it's a book I did ages ago and then revamped, and it came out some other way. As you know, mind travel. The screen now showed a lot of people resting on the ground. They began to sit up, rubbing their eyes as if they had just woken up or had been stirred out of their lethargy. As she watched, Osichu explained, what we are showing you is a picture of passiveness. Those who sit back, as many in your world do. They sit back and wait without feeling the need to contribute, although they hope to receive. It is too passive. Too many do not activate themselves to gain what they desire. Their thought processes are deteriorating and no longer able to function as they should. Now, this is random. I did not know what was on the other side. Seriously. And I'm beginning to wish I wasn't redoing these papers that I was going to throw away otherwise.
Yeah.
Because what's there is so important.
What I met, yeah, amazing.
And that was channeled years back. And
Yes.
I'm talking about early 90s.
Mm.
Isn't that amazing?
But so apt for what we're doing and for today, you know, to let everybody,
Absolutely.
to let everybody know, you know,
Yeah.
you have your own reasons and why we're here, and to go out and find it, basically, and then to push forward and do, you know, what you're here to do.
What he went on to say is material goals seem to be the only driving force for many. We would like to see more searching and reaching into the depth for understanding. You know, seriously. Ooh, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's perfect.
It was one of those things. I did not expect it.
It was obviously, I believe it was meant to be. It was obviously meant to, exactly. It was meant to be.
I've got more of it here.
They needed to get that message out, obviously, at this time, because it's very valid for now.
Oh, it is, isn't it? So many sitting back. Oh, never mind. And a lot are not. So, where are we now? 8?
Right,
is it?
number 8, yes.
This is an interesting one.
Many people are feeling the need to move, whether it be a job move, house move, or even move country. Why is this? And should they go with their feeling?
The answer, this is nothing new. And it's not something that has come about recently. People have always felt the need to do this or that, even moving country. They are reacting to instinctive urges. Whether they should go with their feelings depends on how strong that feeling is, how often they get that feeling, and if they have ignored it several times, and yet it still keeps coming, clearly it is something to take notice of. Common sense will and should rule, and all that is involved with making that move will come into making your decision. You may ask, why are you having these feelings? Why not? Inside each is the need to experience something more. You are on earth to experience, and maybe a move will give you the experience your soul is craving for. It may be an experience that doesn't work out, seem like a wrong move, but that too is what your soul has asked for, an opportunity to learn from making a mistake. So, should you go with that feeling or not? Each will decide, as we cannot tell you to do this or that. Each of you will decide for yourselves. And as we have said, it depends on how strong and how frequent the need to do this or that is. It is always, always your decision. But we feel there is another meaning behind your question. Are you being guided? Is this to do with planetary changes? Are you in the wrong place to deal with these changes? As you may already realize, we are all connected, you and I. So yes, we do try to put thoughts into your mind if they are felt to be useful to you. If you pick up on those thoughts and act on them, or ignore them, is up to you. It is meant to be a guiding. This may indeed be what instigates the need to move or make changes. We try to help. They're answering the question, really.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've had a huge amount of people who I know that are literally all over the world, and I know that they've said, you know, I'm thinking of moving, should I move? You know, that there are, again, obviously at this point in time, I think more than ever before, people are, you know, feel the need to, that they've got to do something, go someplace, new job, new house, you know, it's...
They're in a guidance. You know why I'm in this house where I am now? Is I was meditating. I was nothing wrong with the house I was living in before, perfectly happy. Everything was okay. And I was meditating one morning and looked up at one of my guides on the wall, and he said, now. And I knew he meant sell the house and move. No other thing. That's all he said was now. And I just knew what he meant. So I sold the house. It went the same day.
Really?
I moved. Yeah. So it was acting on what I'm trying to say is I acted on the knowing inside. Whether it made sense or not, I went on the knowing. Now, if any of you listening have a knowing you should move without understanding why, if that knowing is strong, then act on it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think also as well, in my experience, they always, if I've ever been on the wrong track or they've wanted me in a specific place, it's always deemed, things happen. It's like when we were in America and I was going through all of the paperwork to be able to stay over there with the attorneys, and there was, for some unknown reason, there was a major problem with it, with the attorney and everything else. And we had a house over there, everything all ready to go, and it was literally, they came to me and they said, right, you've got 2 weeks, you've got to leave. And there was no reason for it at all. And it was like, right, okay.
And what he said, if you act on it or not, is
exactly, where do we go now? And we literally, we just ended up on the island of Cyprus. My husband opened the laptop and said, have you ever been here? No. 2 weeks later, we're in Cyprus. They wanted me in Cyprus. They didn't want me in the States. I'd been there. I'd done whatever I needed to do. And on the island of Cyprus, that's when I awoke and so many things happened.
So are we being guided? Yes, we are.
Definitely.
So we don't always recognize it, but yes, we are.
Mm.
I mean, as you know, I travel all over,
Yeah.
and it's always been on those urges,
Yes.
on being told in
Mm.
some way. The last one, when I went to on a boat, they said, "We want you at sea." That was all they said. "We want you at sea." So I knew what I had to do.
Mm.
So you're acting on your instincts and your urges, and I hope other people do.
Mm. Well,
And
sometimes
take what comes.
exactly. I mean, sometimes luckily, I always look at things and think, well, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and even when you can't see what that is, I always trust the process, because I know that there is a process and I will end up where I need to be. And that's always proven to be true.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
Mm.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
Right. We are nearly at the last question that I said. This is the one before the last, where obviously it's a doozy and we've got lots of information and it's quite long. But before that, number 9.
I've got to find it now, because it's, as you know, it's out of,
Was
this number 9?
Yeah, this is number 9, and then we're going to do the last one.
All right, number 9.
So
Okay.
somebody's asked you that, ask Shirley and her guides about future communication with them as to our advancement through the dimensions, and then on a personal level through language or sacred codes of light language. Can we have some practical advice, as practical as able anyway, to connect through visualization or meditation?
Yep. Answer. Communication with guides or spirit at whatever level you are capable of reaching is ongoing. It is not going to cease just because things are changing in your world. For future communications, we are pushing now for closer interaction through our own language, through what some call light language or ET language. Others, such as myself, call it cosmic or celestial being language. It is language of those you cannot see or touch because we are in a different dimension. Many guides are coming forward to teach this, to be able to use it vocally, as in channeling. There's a bit of me in here. I have been doing this myself recently with amazing results. It is not so much the words as the vibration the sound gives. As you progress and as they teach you over a short or long period, you will find that you will have a telepathic understanding of what they are trying to say. This is me telling you. It is simply a knowing of what they are conveying to you. Yeah, this is definitely me. This is what I got, and that I'm putting down as me.
Mm-hmm.
Just to explain.
Yes.
I recently had a session where one came through, clearly female, and who said she was the ET daughter of the lady who was there. It was very emotional, and we all knew it was true. The lady in question began to communicate in the same language. So there was a conversation going on between the ET and her. It was wonderful, emotional, and you can't make this stuff up. Communication through ET language, celestial being language. We do seem to put things in boxes, but we are all one at all times. The communication will advance as more people get comfortable with speaking strange sounds, allowing strange sounds to come through their vocal cords. Go with the urge. If you feel the urge to make sounds, make them. And time goes on, you will have a knowing what the gist of it is. None of it is negative or harmful in any way. Now, the next part was your connection through meditation or visualization question. Meditation is a must. You don't have to sit for hours, but sit quietly without distraction from the TV or other things going on around you. Some would call it cogitation or reflection. It depends on how far you want to go or how much you want to know. You can go deep into yourself and allow things to happen. Some are very good at visualizing, and if not, you can be trained and let this develop. Movement of the hands when you are connecting in meditation can be moving energies, often used in healing work. Was there any more to that question?
No.
Because I've got a bit more here, but I don't know where that's coming from. What is a guide? Yeah. Okay, well, that was nice. So we're now on to the other one that you wanted to wait for.
Yes, because you said that this is a huge amount of information. Do you want to, because the two questions are together, do you want to read the question, Shirley? Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, well, I'll read number 3. Where's number 6? I haven't got number 6 handy. So I can read it's answer to 3 and 6. I feel the world is dividing and we seem to be on a crossroad. Will there be a split and 2 worlds will emerge? And is the higher evolved world like a spaceship which accelerates away from the darkness? That made me smile, I have to say. So number 6, I don't know where that one is.
Do you want me to read what 6 is?
Read number 6 because it's in here somewhere.
Yeah, 6 is, will we transition to the new earth and how will this happen? And please, can you elaborate on this subject? And these two questions have been put together in one huge answer that Shirley got from her guides. So they're both together.
Yeah, okay. So this starts off. The earth is one cell of a giant body, a giant everything. Cells can divide. I give you a picture of the earth splitting in two, in the way a cell divides. I give the word cloning. We will explain this for purposes of illustration. As to the future, the angelic force and those who will protect, oversee, and guide evolution of the creation, not simply the planet Earth, but all of creation. The force and the guidance that is able to produce, that can appear, can indeed materialize a completely new cosmic body in form relative to the creation concept. It can seem miraculous and relatively instantaneous. However, if you think in terms of time, then this is protracted. We do not think in Earth time, and we know, for it has been decided, that a new cosmic body can be produced for the benefit of the souls of humankind. So indeed, in your words, it could be called a cloning. You might call yourselves experimental. You might even call yourselves a prototype, for we are modifying, improving, and producing yet better models as time goes on. I found that interesting. We find it difficult to put into your language. It has been done before, and no doubt it will be done again in the future. So the question for me was, souls who take part in this experiment, do they agree to do this? They agree as each progresses. There isn't agreement by all souls at the same time. As their own lives renew or die, they are faced with choices. The choices are put before them and they may agree or they may not. Each soul will progress according to its choice. So yes, there is agreement for those who wish to follow the Earth's progression. Nobody is forced into anything. It's a bit long, this.
It's all right.
There is no death of any species. Everything continues and maybe have changes. This is true also for the human race. Even if, and we hope this does not happen, but even if the human race were to end on the planet Earth, they too will resurface in another dimension or world or state of being. There is no death. Nothing that has existed ceases to be. All continues in one form or another, modified or not. There are also divisions when they resurface. They may divide in the way that cells divide and move along in their existence in a slightly altered form. This is to enable them to survive in whatever climate situation or state they find themselves in. There may be modifications, no, there will be modifications of the human race. So I said, I want to know, because I usually have a conversation with them when I'm channeling. Will they come back to Earth in this dimension or another? They will come back to Earth, but there is more than one Earth. They choose what would be most comfortable for them. To return either to your current third dimensional Earth or another, altered, adjusted, adapted Earth. There are many alternatives to choose from. So you see, the human race will not cease to exist, but may be adapted and adjusted for its own comfort and growth. So thank you, I said. Who am I speaking to? The overseer of human souls. Overseer, what does that mean? Each race, each species, whatever it may be, has what we would call an overseer, someone who watches, monitors, records, takes notes, and makes some adjustment where necessary. The overseer also protects when it is deserved. We feel you are struggling for a name for me, but I am the overseer. You might call it the divine source, the God force, or all the various names your separate religions have given. So many over the years. There is an overseer for each universe. You're probably right now in your mind trying to put a visual form over the concept of an overseer. If this helps you to understand that this is perfectly natural, however, it is not a one being, but an intelligence all of its own that feels responsibility for its particular branch of existence. We call it the overseer. You will give it other names which may suit you better. Your brains have not yet advanced enough to understand the greater worlds or the enormity of existence throughout many universes, not just your own. So if we continue I'm asking, if we continue in the way we are, what is the future of the human race? Have we not just told you that? And it is always in, and it's always, they're speaking to me, you see, and it's always in your hands. If the human race destroys its habitable world so that it cannot exist on its home planet Earth, the human race will continue. Have we not already told you that? It may resurface into an environment that it can be comfortable with, that it can endure, that it can enjoy. There is such a variety of choices for the human race. If it ceases to exist on your current, and we stress the word current, planet Earth, that is, the state of being that it is currently in, there have been times before, there will be phases again. So you see, the future of the human race is variable. We say it is also varied for each individual soul, not just the race as a whole. Try to get your head around that. So what is the purpose of the journey of the human being, I ask? The purpose of every soul that has ever existed, will ever exist. The purpose is to return to source. By that we do not mean to the oversoul, the overseer, sorry, but beyond the overseer, much greater. Inbuilt is that desire to return. It may not be aware, but that is the ultimate purpose. And then I'm going to read what I got, which I have put into my book, because it came separate to me doing this channeling. But it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got it in block capitals and, capital letters. The human race may divide. You are all one with your creator, as all are all sentient beings everywhere throughout the universe. There are multi-dimensional beings on multiple levels. Do monitor your thoughts. Everything happening in your world is a result of thoughts. Replace fearful thoughts with ones that are positive and loving. Extreme positive and negative energies may already be too far apart to merge and not able to occupy the same space. There may be a division of timelines ahead for the human race. And that's it.
Wow.
That's quite strong, that one. And it came very strongly. Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
The overseer.
The overseer.
The overseer.
And there's an overseer for each universe, apparently. Which makes you start thinking, is there a God, separate God for each universe? What? Because there are many universes.
Yes.
We're in one of 7 universes that have time related. They don't all have time related.
No.
So, it starts to get very complicated.
It does. I know when I've received the information through, when they talk about the multiverses, and when I got the message from the One, which again, when they were discussing New Earth, the New Earth frequency, and it's very much like the information that you've just got, is this the New Earth frequency is where this split occurs.
There will be a split,
and that's down again, as we say, to the individual's frequency.
And what they do, how they are. We know the people who are doing all the most dreadful things, they cannot be on the New Earth because their vibrations won't be comfortable to them.
No,
they simply can't be there.
No,
it's not like we're saying no, go away. They simply cannot exist in that energy. It's quite interesting, isn't it?
It's very, yes. And I was very pleased with the message that they gave me, to the fact that, we are on course. We are more or less, we are past the tipping point.
Yes.
That's
we are.
Yeah,
no,
that's what they
another
said.
one, which I'm going to read because this is in my new book.
Okay.
Which I got this message a long time ago, quite a few years ago, but it seems relevant to now.
Okay.
A bit like that bit I read out. I got it in the early 90s, but it's relevant to now. So much of the stuff is. And I'll just read it out.
Okay.
Shifting sands, smooth movement of land, vast land. Nothing is recognizable. Nothing is left of former times. Move on. The new is fresh. The new is welcoming you. Forget the past. Forget the now. Look ahead. It is almost here. Can't you see it coming? Do not be caught unawares. Do not waste time. Get your mind settled in peace and readiness. The change is for you. You will do this with no company alongside except me. I am Ra, the greatest of all. Come with me. Be with me on my beam of life, and you will know all.
Wow.
That came with such power when it came. I wanted to stand up and shout it, It was that sort of feeling that came with it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think you can obviously see now from all the information that's come through that when I got more or less told, right, okay, this is what I want you and Shirley to do. And you can understand now from the questions and all the answers and everything that's been said,
Yeah.
it's so apparent that people need to hear all of this.
They need to wake up.
Yes, it's just a huge, massive confirmation at this point in time, isn't it?
Yes. So we're not alone, because we're being urged and pushed and prodded, you know,
Yes.
to wake up. But there are still a lot of people who will not, refuse to go any further.
You know, it's always going to be that way. You know,
It doesn't make them bad.
Oh no, it's just obviously it's not their journey this time.
No. And it doesn't mean they can't go with the split. Because, you know, providing they're decent, normal, loving people, they will go just the same as anybody else. And the question about the earlier one about the children, will they go as well? Of course they will. You know?
With the children that are coming through now, they're all they're amazing anyway.
Yes, they're absolutely astounding, the children. So, yeah, I've got great hope, you know.
Well, I was saying yesterday to somebody, even though what's happening out in the world, which I don't really give a lot of energy to or a lot of relevance to, I concentrate on my path and what I'm doing and what I should be doing. And I, like you, I feel very positive to the fact of where we're going.
Yeah.
I really do.
Think of the bigger picture.
Yes, exactly.
Don't get pulled down by
yes.
the negatives.
Yes.
Because if you are pulled down, you are literally being pulled down. It doesn't make sense, does it?
No, 100%. No. Yes.
Yeah.
But this was, like I say, for people that watch this video, it is just wonderful information that has come at the right time, as it always does.
Better have a look at some of my other paper, which I'm reusing, and see what goods come out of that.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, you'll probably be turning them over, and again there'll be some very relevant messages. You're going to have to.
That was so strange.
Yeah, you're going to have to start putting them up on your Facebook page.
Yes, something, because it's all relevant.
Very.
But it's all stuff I've channeled way back in the 90s. You know.
Well, obviously, as it all does, it needed to come out today. It needed to be said.
Really weird. So thank you, Melanie, for inviting me on.
My pleasure, as always, Shirley, my pleasure. I hope, and I don't hope, I am sure that the people, when you watch this and are watching this, you will find this information amazing. And I know that it will help a lot of people out there. And thank you very much for all of the questions that were sent in. Thank you for those who participated in this. I'm sorry that all the questions couldn't be answered, but as you see and understand how many did, and they were the right ones.
They were.
Definitely the right ones. So I will put a link to Shirley's books, as I normally do, on the bottom of this video on my on my YouTube page, so and your website, so people can click through to that.
Thanks. Yeah. And I've got a book launch on Saturday.
Have you?
This Saturday, yes.
Where's that at?
That's in Poole.
Is it? Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if anybody sees this, I'm not sure when this video will be uploaded, whether it be uploaded in time, but obviously,
well, notices
if you can go to Poole and meet Shirley if you're around.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Shirley. And what I would just say, to a reminder to everybody, you're watching this video, obviously it will have go through to my YouTube channel, Melanie Easom. Please subscribe, click the bell so you get the notifications, give the thumbs up, please, or even like a comment, because obviously that helps with the traction of it, not only for myself, but also for Shirley. as well, more people that watch. And I know, which is so nice, that people who haven't read your books and who didn't know you, with me putting this in our joint ventures that we've done, you're getting a bigger audience, which is brilliant, which is,
Yes.
you know, more people to get your information.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, Shirley, thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
yes,
Bye bye.
everybody love, and to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care, bye.